Hello. I think I am live. I think I figured it out. Thanks for joining. If you're not watching the live feed, maybe you'll watch later. But I just wanted to say hi and take a minute to tell a little bit about my story. So, my name is Cheryl Piotrowski, and I am a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator that lives in Indianapolis, Indiana. And I cannot believe it, but I have been a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator for just shy of 10 years. I signed up in January um, 2011, so almost 10 years. And I had no intentions of being here today. And so I just thought, as I've been reflecting on this journey that I've been on, I just wanted to take a minute to share my story and tell you a little bit about how this all happened. So I grew up thinking that I was not crafty. And if you knew me back then, you would understand. But I seriously did not think I was crafty. I grew up I was born in Detroit, Michigan, and I had a mom and a dad. I was the oldest child, and I have a younger brother. And my dad was really into sports, so we spent most of our time watching sports on TV, attending live sporting events, and playing sports. That's pretty much all we did my whole life. And I just had no inkling to ever even try an art class or anything that was creative. So basically, we moved a lot. My dad is actually sort of interested in real estate, so we would move a lot. And in sixth grade, we moved to Indianapolis, Indiana, and I've lived in 8 states so far. But I spent my middle school and high school years here, right here in central Indiana. And I was a 3 sport athlete in high school. And then I was a 2 sport athlete in college. And my brother was a college athlete, and that's all we did. Um, After I graduated, I moved to the Washington, D.C. area, and I got a job as a high school teacher at a K through 12 school. And so after I was done teaching, I was a coach. So I coached middle school boys soccer and high school girls soccer. And that was my life. That's all I did. And I had a really good friend who worked at the school. She was a first grade teacher, and her name was Stephanie. And she was really into scrapbooking. And I never really understood it. I just thought that was like something that elementary school teachers did. I mean, the most crafty I ever got probably was putting up a bulletin board in the hallway, and that was a struggle. In any case, I was friends with this girl named Stephanie, and she was a creative memories consultant, and she would have crops all the time. And I'm like, what is a crop? So she would invite me, and I would never go, mainly because I had soccer games and whatnot. But everything changed probably when I was 27 years old. I met my husband. So obviously, when you meet your husband, that changes your life, right? But it changed my life in a different way because, when you get married, you start registering for things. And so I registered at Bed Bath and Beyond and Pottery Barn and all these places to get dishes and whatnot. And my friend Stephanie got me this. This scrapbook started my crafting journey and changed everything. And actually, inside is a picture. You can see that's Stephanie right there. Um, but she got me this for my wedding, and I was like, what am I supposed to do with this? So I went to one of her crops and I obliged and basically went through the whole process of putting stickers on pages. I mean, like, look at this. Like, this is what I thought being crafty meant, like sticking one sticker on the corner of a page. Um, but I went and I finished that scrapbook in one night, and I was like, that was pretty cool. I now have some form of a memory keeping that I never had before. So I started thinking, okay, well, what can I scrapbook next? And then after we got married, I did one for my wedding. And so I'd been married to Nicholas for 3 years when he moved us to Illinois, and he was going to graduate school. So when I got to Illinois, I was sort of left without Stephanie, without access to any of her crops that she was having or any of the Creative Memories products that I had been using. And then I very quickly got pregnant when we moved there. And I thought to myself, you know what? I need some kind of new hobby. I'm not playing or coaching soccer anymore. And if I'm going to be potentially a stay at home mom, I need something to do while my kids are young. And so I signed up sort of on the spur of the moment to be a Creative Memories consultant. And I did that for a while. I had this strategy where I took $1,000 of our family money and I put it into a bank account, a separate bank account. And I basically said, when this money is over, when this money is gone, then my time being a Creative Memories consultant would be over. And I have to tell you, I went through that $1,000 pretty quickly. The quota to stay active there was $500 per 3 months at the time. And that was just a lot of money. And I tried to make a business out of it. I tried to have crops like she did, and it just didn't work very well. And it was also the time that they had filed for bankruptcy. And so I was just at this sort of point where I loved crafting and I loved at this point, I loved crafting and I loved the scrapbooks, but I just wasn't sure how much money I wanted to spend on this. So we were renting an apartment at the time, and then we moved into our first house in Illinois. Actually, we still own it, so we've got renters in there now. But in any case, so when you move into a new house in Illinois, I don't know if they still do this anymore, but there's something called Welcome Wagon. And it's basically a representative from the community that comes over to your house. They call and make an appointment, and they come over and spend like an hour with you, sitting down and basically telling you about all the different things that your community has to offer. It was at Batavia, Illinois. Great town. If you ever can go visit it, it's just a lot of, it's a really neat place. But so this lady came and she was giving us toothbrushes, telling us about the dentists around, and then she's giving us coupons to different restaurants, and then she's pulls out a handmade card, and she told me that there's somebody in the area who does card classes. And I said, that's interesting. I love sending cards. I sent cards all the time to everybody in my family on their birthdays and whatnot. And, you know, running out to the store to buy cards when you need one can be sort of cumbersome, especially when you had a newborn. So I called up this lady. Her name was Chris Waddell. And I just said, hey, I got your card. Can I come to one of your classes? And so I did. And I loved it. So I started going to her classes as often as I could, being a young mom. I would go and never bought a thing, but I paid the fee and I made the cards, and I loved it. And then 3 years in, I'm still a Creative Memories consultant, barely making my quota, but getting a lot of progress made on a lot of scrapbooks that are really important to me. But I get a call from Chris. And at this time, my husband was nearing the completion of his program. And so we were looking to move to somewhere else in the country, anywhere he could find a job. And I got a call from Chris, and she had just gotten back from a Stampin' Up conference. It was a leaders event because she's had been a little higher up on the um, compensation plan or whatnot. And she told me that she had gotten a free starter kit that she could give to anybody that she wanted to. And she thought that since I was a Creative Memories consultant and I like crafts and I've been coming to her classes, that maybe I would like her free kit. And I'm like, free is good. At this point, I had my eyes on the many marvelous markers. So if you have looked through a Stampin' Up catalog, you have seen the many marvelous markers. It's a whole set of them, and it's a pretty, I think, the most expensive item in the catalog. And so I thought, ooh, I could use those in my scrapbooking. And so I said, sure, I'll take the free kit. Now, 10 years ago, you were not allowed to customize your own kit. Basically, it was a set kit. You got one stamp set, it's a pack of paper, you know, just a couple different things, and that's what you got. But it was free. So I took it, had no intentions of doing anything other than getting the free kit because I'm still a Creative Memories consultant at this time. And there's a no competition clause that exists where you really can't sell both of the products if they could be in direct competition. So I had no intentions of quitting Creative Memories at that point. But then my husband graduated and got a job in Indianapolis, Indiana, the same place where I grew up. So we were heading back to my old stomping grounds. He'd never lived there before. And at this point, I was pregnant with my second child. And I said, you know what? If I have to start my Creative Memories business over from scratch, I might as well think about switching over to Stampin' Up because I already had a lot of Creative Memories products, but I didn't have any Stampin' Up products. And so that's exactly what I did. So 10 years ago, we got to Indianapolis and I used Stampin' Up as an opportunity to meet new people. The first thing I did was I scheduled like a regular craft night once a month in my basement where I tried to invite whoever I could meet over to my house to work on whatever crafts because I just wanted someone to craft with me. I didn't want to be alone in my basement, working on my scrapbooks and my cards. And there were many months where nobody came and I was the only one there, but I just kept going, and eventually my community grew. And I am so happy now that I've got so many friends. I mean, I grew up in Indianapolis, so I already had some friends here, but they're not so much into crafts. And so it's been really great for me to meet new people that share my hobby and we can do it together on a regular basis. So as of right now, we have over 50 ladies on my InStampers team and I have many regular events for customers and my team. I'm averaging about 7 a month, I would say. And so I just want to encourage everyone that crafting is for everyone. Even if you've never done it before, or you've never tried it, or you think you're not creative, or you think you're not crafty, it's just because you probably haven't been exposed enough to practice or have someone that could help you on this journey. And that's why they call us demonstrators, because you basically need someone to demonstrate for you the craft supplies that are offered. So Stampin' Up has so many fun products, and I've just loved having them at my fingertips whenever I need them. I don't need to run to the craft store. I basically can just get them for myself. And so my hobby has turned into a business, but you don't have to do what I do. You can just have a hobby that basically helps pay for itself. Um, and, it's great to have all of the different colors of cardstock that I have and not feel like I have to, go out to a craft store and buy it. So, anyhow, I just wanted to share my story, tell you a little bit more about my journey and how I got into this. But I'm great friends with Chris, who lives in Illinois, and she's still one of my mentors, and she's a great example to me. And I just wanted to say, if you have any interest ever in learning more about Stampin' Up, just feel free to reach out. And then on Tuesday, I am having an online event. So it's just on the computer, but it's called 10 Reasons to Join Stampin' Up. So as I've been reflecting on these last 10 years, I've made a list of my top 10 reasons to join Stampin' Up, and I want to share them with you if you want to tune in Tuesday night online on Google Meet. So there's a Facebook event that tells you how to join in on that from 7:30 to 8:30 p.m. And I'll just give you a teaser, but one of the reasons is because Stampin' Up's having a promotion coming in September where you get even more in your starter kit, which you get to choose completely on your own and not get some prepackaged box like I did. So thanks for listening to my story, and I just want to be here in case anyone ever wants to get crafty, because as you can see behind me, the Stampin' Up motto is to inspire, create, and share. And that's what I try and do as much as I can. So thanks for listening to my story.